latest trends in digital assets and crypto exchanges.
So we have a fascinating topic today, but I always like to give the panelists a moment to just introduce themselves and provide some context. So it's always three things. Who are you? Where are you from? And what are you up to, including your current company? So please, Giovanni.
Thank you. My name is Giovanni Cunti. I'm the CEO of Gate MT, the regulated exchange of Gate Group. We already obtained a license here in Malta and we're just moving to the MiCA license. Thank you.
Hi, Dave Police. We founded one of the crypto islands, first crypto exchanges. We have also other interests, payment services, and anything really almost with buying all the vertical within the financial industry and the cryptocurrency industry.
Please.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Fiorentina D'Amore. I am the managing director of Bitpanda, Malta and Dubai. We are, as you probably know, a crypto entity offering services within the European Union so far and Dubai very, very soon. I am also the chairperson of FIMA, Financial Institutions Malta Association, and I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome to you all. Now, my panelists were really good. They gave me questions to ask them before the panel, so I'm just going to ask them the questions you gave me. Giovanni, I love your name. I want to say it, Giovanni. So, increased regulation and compliance. How are exchanges adapting, and what are the possible benefits for users with more regulation and compliance?
Thanks for the question. Yes, this is quite an interesting one. You know, crypto was born at the beginning just to create a direct communication among all the users. The industry starts to get to a mature stage, and with the mature stage came regulation. Crypto exchange had to adapt to that one. At the end, what a crypto exchange is there for? Basically, from my point of view, for two main reasons. One is liquidity, and the other one is just safety, security, to provide the right environment for people to trade. We are just adapting because the regulator is adapting themselves. In the panel before this one, they discussed at length about MiCA, but there are more regulation, and we want to take advantage of that. And we're adapting in the way that we're making our process a little more sound, more robust, to add a little bit more credibility with our clients and to add more people to enter into this field. Sometimes it's a bit challenging because, as you can imagine, lots of resources, lots of efforts they need to be spent on that one. But we see the benefit is definitely coming, and we see that people, they start to understand that what we are doing, what ourselves, other centralized exchanges are doing, is just for their own benefit and increasing these two key points, safety and security for them to trade.
Is it entirely for their own benefit, or is there maybe, I'll be a little controversial, is there a little bit of incumbent player gatekeeping, raising the bar in order to keep others below the bar and out?
Cheeky question. Let me be totally upfront. Maybe it's both of them. And actually, on that one, this is quite an interesting question. Very, very difficult, if you realize, for new centralized exchange to come to play in these days, because the barriers, as you correctly say, are getting higher. But we're already there. We already have the base. We just want to grow that one.
And sure, Dave, go ahead.
Just a point on what Giovanni is saying. We've been, obviously, in the industry for a very long time. We've been here to consult even the local regulators when the regulation was coming in. Now, obviously, with the introduction of MiCA, we've also been consulting on the transition between our current regime and the next regime. And I think the benefit, compared to the financial industry, where I originally come from, is that we helped the regulators to also design the way forward from lessons we learned in the financial industry as well. So I think some of the pitfalls of the broken financial industry probably will be less augmented within the crypto sphere, because I think we're having a say in what we're doing. And to what you mentioned, obviously there's always the decentralized versus decentralized question. I think crypto exchanges centralized crypto exchanges have a part in the ecosystem, but also decentralized finance will also have a big part, which obviously we'll speak about later. But I think when people fight between centralized and decentralized exchanges or safety of your assets, I think it's not really given, because there is a place for crypto exchanges which are centralized, especially for people who are maybe a bit older or people who are not so tech savvy, who cannot take care of their own.
How old is older? Just curious.
I think
don't answer that.
I mean, I've been 21 years already in finance, so I'm getting old myself.
Really? I've had 20 years in a row of being 35. Okay, so let me ask you the question you fed me, and then we'll go on to Fiora. So Dave, you said as an investor, and this is related, as an investor and director in the sphere of crypto exchanges and payments, what trends do you see developing?
So having done, payments have been a recent investment that we've done as well. But what we're learning is that payments and crypto were quite dissected between the two. Either you're a crypto casino or either you're a fiat casino, for example. I think the interjunction between the two is getting a bit more transparent. Before, most of operators were working in the gray area or maybe in the black area.
Or the liberal area.
Yeah, the very liberal area. But I think the regulation is clear enough now that we're investing also in some casinos, we're helping some other businesses, that we're merging them together, but with a clear mandate, clear regulatory infrastructure to be able to not just go, for example, in different regulated markets one by one, because it's very fragmented. I think the trends going forward is where we can manage to do an investment, for example, let's say, the whole of East Africa, where we can get one license and operate at least in multiple jurisdictions. Same that's what's happening in Europe. And I think this consolidation of regulation will be very good for the industry.
Yeah. Fiorentina, so you've been involved in crypto in Malta since the beginning of the trend. I'd like to hear about that, actually. Maybe this is a rhetorical question. Was it a fast evolution? But I'd love to hear how you've been involved since the beginning also. Share a little personal details if you don't mind.
So picture it. It was 2017. Malta blockchain island. And it was the first time that the regulators were hearing about crypto, that people were hearing about crypto, and most countries in the world were hearing about Malta as being the place where everything was born within the EU space. And I was in front of a crowd at the same time this year for the blockchain island, a crowd of a bit bigger than this one. There was 7,000 people in that delegation, the blockchain event.
Here.
You were here as well. And I was trying to convince everyone, as an MLRO at the time of a very, very nice crypto agency where me and Giovanni and I worked, that crypto was here to stay, that it wasn't just a fad, it wasn't just a trend, and eventually it would have been regulated exactly like any other foreign currency or fiat. And that maybe during the lifetime of the course of my lifetime, I would have seen an integration of this new paradigm, of this revolution into mainstream financial services. 5 years down the line, 2023 November, we had a massive conference at Malta, hosted by the MFSA, where all the regulators of the European Union were present last year, and we were launching MiCA. That is how fast it took to regularize something very, very complex. And you can see it. It's fast and it's unstoppable. So at the beginning, banks were, and still are, very wary of the tool and the opportunities that crypto brings along, simply because it was unknown. And people generally are afraid of unknown things and things they don't really understand, because, let's face it, crypto is not for everyone. It shouldn't have been for everyone from the beginning. There is always an early adoption. But we are seeing that changing. Now crypto is available on your Revolut, available on your ASOS, available on Amazon, and it can. It's safe to. It is very safe to say that it is literally growing into our day-to-day. How that is going to evolve, it's easy to understand. Gaming, crypto. We started seeing crypto casinos. we started seeing how the integration of that two pillars of the economy of Malta, financial services and gaming, merging together. I think it's very interesting where this is going, and I really can't wait to see how that is all going to be regulated. Back in 2017, we had a sandbox about this, about having coins for casinos and how that would have worked. So I'm really interested also to catch up later and understand how that works for you.
Sometimes I feel that regulation moves faster than the banks, and we're just waiting for the banks to catch up, maybe in Dubai also. So Giovanni, your second question, it's great, I just get to feed you questions. New entrants in the market, are we going to see a growth in institutional adoption in 2025 and beyond? That's always the question every year. So is this year any different?
No, this is going to be the year. Let me actually start and just back up what Fiorentina said, because she brought me lots of nice memories and nostalgia from the past. We're still hanging there and moving the industry forward. Now, think about that one. The first block was mined in January 2009. So Bitcoin is not a major age as yet. We're getting there. And when an industry matures, what is the natural next step? You want to attract more mature clients. You want to attract institutional clients that are the ones that are going to bring weight, they are going to bring reputation, and they're going to bring volumes on board. I think that this time we're getting close. And I'm not saying that it is getting close because this is happening out of the blue. This is a trend that has been growing and growing and growing. And as I said in the first part of my contribution here, regulation is adding that additional layer of credibility and security that an institutional client is looking for. Plus, the industry is maturing, and maturing in the sense that additional products or better products are going to be provided to clients. To institutional clients. Let me just give you a couple of examples, like custody services have evolved much more. We provide a centralized exchange, a better service than before. OTC services, much better shape than they were in the past. Additional services that are used by broker, by fintech companies are there and are going to be developed more in 2025. So definitely we are continuing on that trend, and 2025 might be really the time that we are going to break things. And the latest numbers of the Bitcoin are going to help us quite a lot.
I like it. Actually, let me ask you, Dave, institutional adoption. Fast answer, because I'm going to ask you your other question.
So let's go with something practical, something that we're doing, something that we're actually seeing in the market. As we said, we also operate both financial entities. And for example, for the payments, when we're expanding in Latin America, Africa, across the globe, one of the issues with, for example, when you have Brazil, Morocco, Nigeria, it's to the movement of capital for settlement. So what we're doing is, within our financial entities, we're using crypto to be able to settle internally and to be able to do it much cheaper, much faster, and also it gives you much more access to that market. Because you, for example, let's say a casino operator cannot get the money out of a country, cannot get the money in, they will likely, obviously, not operate in that country. So by providing the infrastructure, we're also adding a lot. We're having the curve for adoption going much faster, and obviously there's much more business going on because now they can actually operate. They can get the money in, they can get the money out. And obviously, if you want to get people to, say, gamble on a certain casino, or you have affiliation, crypto gives you much better tools to be able to do affiliate programs as well.
Yes, 100%. So let's get to the second question here. You said AI has been a buzzword the last 2 years. That's about right, I'd say. How do you see it? Yeah, I wonder about this myself. How do you see it intertwining with blockchain and crypto in 2025?
So, very specific example. We're working with some companies based out of California. One of them is also speech recognition, which is the official one now, I'm happy to say, for ChatGPT. So if you open your phone, it's on all ChatGPT, the voice recognition. It's one of our partner companies. But the best intertwining is there's a few people who are obviously, like yourself, lawyers, very knowledgeable about KYC, due diligence. And most people, when they think of AI, they think of Terminator, or AI is going to kill us, or we're going to give them access to the nuclear codes. But let's face it, on a day-to-day basis. If you...
Sorry, I'm going to jump in. I think about AI as maybe the solution to DAO governance.
I mean,
I'll just throw a wrench in your wheel, and you can...
I would like to dumb it down even more,
Okay.
just for the simple stuff. If you open Telegram, there's a ton of bots now. If you open the Sigma challenge, some bots trying to get in. We're spending time trying to get them out. Simple stuff, for example, I have my chief of compliance here sitting in front of me, giving me the looks. Obviously, we have so much...
He is giving you a look. I can see that look.
He is. It's,
I don't know if that's a smile or a grimace.
People who work in compliance have this
seat.
look. It's
Go
not
ahead.
his fault. So obviously, we have a lot of effort being put into, for example, liveness check, KYC, so on and so forth. So AI can be embedded into crypto solutions, whereby, for example, we're trying to do something decentralized, where we can put KYC, liveness checks, and all of the other tools as much automated as possible. So if the crypto crowd is saying, hey, I don't want a centralized party checking my documents, I don't want a centralized party telling me what to do, we can build through AI and machine learning all of these tools as much as possible to a decentralized platform. So I think AI is there to help us combat all of these fraud, especially when we don't want a centralized exchange or a centralized, for example, entity to be able to do it on our behalf.
So maybe there's a GDPR implication there.
That's why lawyers are for.
Interesting. Fiore, so as managing director of a crypto entity in Malta and as chairperson of FEMA, do you believe that integration of crypto assets with the mainstream financial services and gaming ecosystems?
Quick answer. Definitely yes, and it's already happening. We are seeing a cooperation between the technologies, but I can say that as Bitpanda, we also offer a second pillar of services, which is BTS, which is Bitpanda Technology Services, where we basically offer the platform and the crypto side and the investment side to banks in Dubai, in the EU, whereby we collaborate in white label solutions. And this year, we've seen a massive increase in interest. Everyone wants to get now into crypto. At first, there were, let's wait and see what happens, regulation. But once MiCA kicked in, I can assure you, our phones haven't stopped ringing. When it comes to Malta, I'm very happy to say, even as FEMA, as Financial Institutions Malta Association representative, that we are really encouraging crypto to join the financial services, because to me personally, my philosophy is that crypto is money. It's not different from any other form of payment, any other form of coin, whether it be euro, dollar, or whatever other currency, and it's part of an ecosystem. An ecosystem is multi-layered, multidisciplinary, and the more biodiversity there is in an ecosystem, the healthier is that ecosystem. And that's why we believe that there is space for everyone. Banks, crypto, EMI, FinTech in general, technologies, and the like. So it's quite utopianistic, but it is what's happening.
So question for, I guess, all three of you in the time that remains. You're all three veterans, I believe, of the Maltese ecosystem. And as you mentioned, the regulation came here early. We had Crypto Island. I think there's questions about execution and there's questions about banking, but you were early. Maybe Gibraltar was early also. But now you have an EU-wide regulatory regime. I'll be a little bit controversial. Did it sort of steal Malta's thunder a little bit? Because now you can do it anywhere? And the benefit of being a first mover dissipated? Or give me the hard, realistic answer about what is Malta's relative position now that MiCA is coming into place?
Well, very simple. Not stealing, but since we are the first, we're just replicating an exercise that was already done. So for us, it's pretty much straightforward. Other countries, they will need to adapt. So the road, the path is going to be longer, but they're going to find hurdles along the way. So the first mover advantage will continue to be working on the MiCA. I'm absolutely convinced about that.
Dave, fast answer. And be real, buddy, be real.
Same parallels to the Maltese financial industry. You want to open an EMI, you used to go to Lithuania, you come to Malta. You don't look at many other places. Same thing is going to happen with crypto. The countries or the jurisdictions that want to focus their attention on this industry, now it's not a minus because you can go anywhere. It's a plus because you can get that same dedication, that same regulator, but now you have an EU-wide license to operate among those countries.
And is it a passporting regime similar to the financial institutions, or is it something else?
Well, I mean, MiCA doesn't exactly touch. MiCA is basically similar to the financial industry, but obviously there's a few caveats to that. But yes, it gives you passporting rights to be able to operate.
Okay, last word, because we're over.
Being first is very important in this industry, but in all industries. We were the first in gaming to regularize gaming in the EU. Look around you and that's your answer of what happens when you're the first. Great success. Everyone wants a license in Malta. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you,
and same thing for crypto. We were the first to actually write a law on crypto. I am happy to say that I was part of that law writing. And being first means that you are going to move faster than everybody else follows. So being first means you're the leader.
Fantastic. Let's give a big round of applause for our panel. Hi. Hello. Hello. Come on. Big round of applause. Big round of applause. Thank you. Good job, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.